Good afternoon. This is Julie Osteen. The school that I am working with through my Gardner Webb Studies is Stanley Academy Learning Center. Stanley Academy is an alternative high school which meets the needs of students in a non-traditional setting that they come to us from the surrounding schools in the county. And 2016-17 school year has brought big changes to the school. This year, the committee has brought more students onto the head count, which was an upswing starting in the spring semester of the 2015-16 school year, and it has continued gradually increasing each semester. Another thing that was a big change this year was this returning staff. There was a great staff turnover due to people retiring, people changing careers, people moving, and people actually being transferred to different schools within the county. That was one of the major issues that the staff felt that, the school did have was the hiring. There was a committee, but then due to differences of opinions and everything, the principal would hire the person that they chose fit, the position better than the staff. That was a problem. The staff thought that, better candidates were available. So overall, the assistant principal, which is new this year, and the principal, along with the new guidance counselor, and the EC teacher, they came up with a plan that is a generic hiring plan for all positions. So they implemented that this year. Another change that happened from the county level is that all the school improvement plans would be universal. Each school would have an action plan, and that the school improvement plan and action plan would be multi-year. And also the staff would be more vested in the process. So this year, each teacher and staff member is assigned one portion of the action plan, and they are to head that up, to gather committees that go along with it if need be. So that is something that we feel as a school better suits our needs. So this year the staff is, going straight forward, head on to meeting, all the requirements and needs of this new action plan. One of the things that the school scored, very poorly on was the teacher working conditions survey. After contacting a number of the people that did choose not to come back to work this school year, we talked with them about, what are some changes that needed to be made? What could we do to make it a better place to work? And one of the major things was professional development. Professional development, when you only have 12 full-time staff, and then you have teachers that are coming from different schools just for one or two classes, for the day, professional development is very hard. So we talked with the school system and said, hey, what can we do to better the, professional development? So they implemented edu sessions. So professional development now is going to be, helped out across the entire school system. So now, instead of having in-house professional development, our in-house professional development might be conducted by somebody at a partnering school, and all the math teachers from the county would come together and they would get professional development credits. So we felt that that better suited our needs because each teacher at the academy teaches a different subject. So you can't have a professional learning community together that just specializes in one subject. Our professional learning community is all the teachers coming together of the school. So we felt that professional development didn't necessarily need to be done in-house unless it is something like holds for students, helping with behavioral issues, CPR, first aid, stuff like that. Yes, that's great professional development, and it helps out in the classroom, but meeting the needs of our certain subject areas, we thought that would be better suited outside of the school. Also, the PLC that was started last school year has made great changes. The returning staff just felt that at this time, meeting every single week for, an hour and a half, 2 hours, talking about students, when they didn't want to make the changes that we were trying to help them make. We thought that, no, we weren't wasting our time, but how could we better use that time together? So we revamped the PLC. We meet at least once a month, and we bring data and progress that they've done, attendance records, behavioral records. We bring them all together, and we try to better suit the students' needs at that time. One thing that has helped out a lot is that the contracts that we wrote with the students in the past, we now uphold those, better. If we say that if you miss, no more than 5 days, you will gain the credits that you didn't get last semester. This time around, we're really holding the students accountable for that instead of just saying, hey, you did better this semester, you can get your credits. Things are a lot more concrete now. So also the teacher, the overall climate, of the teachers, students, staff is doing better. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Last year at the end of the school year, the climate was very poor in the school. So we're trying to work on that as an entire staff. We are recognizing, more student achievements, not having to be the star students, but students that, just say, hey, you have been here for 2 weeks, let's celebrate. Or a staff member, did well on a paper, or a staff member is getting married. We're trying to celebrate more, finding the positives versus all of the negatives. The school improvement plan has helped with the climate, because that is part of the school improvement plan, is that we would increase the climate and make it a better place, one that the students want to come to, the one that the staff wants to come to work. So that is something that we are trying to do. Like I said before, we lost a lot of teachers that had been at the academy since the implementation of the new school. The students, we talked with them, the graduating students, and we said, hey, what is the difference between, before, now, and, how did we suit your needs, for the future? And they said that one thing was that they weren't treated fairly. So that is another thing. We're trying to, treat each student as an individual, but we're also trying to make sure that everything is fair. That's one thing that the assistant principal and the principal and I sat down and talked about is, how can we make, student discipline fair? When each student needs to be treated individually, how do we make it fair? So there is a point system now in place, and we do, have a spreadsheet, check it off, that's your first offense, second offense, third offense, you're gone. And we're trying to keep more students in school. So we're trying to eliminate the petty write-ups. Last year we had so many write-ups that really and truthfully they didn't deserve a formal write-up. We did it for documentation purposes, but we're trying to find a better alternative to that. The relationship between students and teachers. The students that graduated said that, overall, the relationships, as the new teachers came, their relationships decreased. The students didn't feel that there was the connection that there used to be when the other teachers were there. So we're trying to make, the new teachers aware of trying to build that one-on-one relationship with the students. Typically you don't have that at the traditional high schools, but at the alternative school, students are really trying to get, a relationship to hold on to, somebody to help them pull them to the finish line, help them get to graduation. Another one last thing is mentoring. With the new amount of teachers that are there at the school, the mentoring is crucial for those teachers. And when we only have just a few returning teachers, that's very hard. But we're trying to get through it as much as possible. We're reaching out to other teachers across the district. We're trying to, meet the needs of those teachers, help them out with lesson planning, with student behavior issues. So, the academy has went from climbing to a slight downfall, and we're trying to climb back up again. And I know that as a team, as a group, we can do that. So thank you very much. Have a good evening.